received his PhD from IIT Roorkee. He is with Sardar Patel Institute of Technology from last 22 years. At present, he is professor in the Electronics Engineering Department. He was head of the Electronics Engineering Department for last 8 years and Dean Academics for 2 years. His interests include VLSI design, device modeling, and circuit simulation. He is an approved PhD research guide for electronics engineering and electronics and telecommunication engineering at Mumbai University. His 3 students was awarded PhD, and at present he is guiding 6 PhD candidates. He has published more than 70 papers in various national and international conferences and published 37 papers in international journals like Journal of Applied Physics, IEEE Transaction on Electronic Devices, elsewhere Microelectronics, Reliability, etc. He was publication chair of IEEE Calendared International Conference, ICC ICT 2012, 15 and 17 as well. He has received IST Best Engineering College Teacher Award for Maharashtra State in 2012. He received an Outstanding Achievement Award 2007 by the Energy Society of India from the Governor of Pondicherry. He also received Best Paper Award 3 times. He was awarded Fellow by IUCEE, that is Indo-US Collaboration for Engineering Education, Leadership Award organized by Best Profession Electronics Engineering at 10th DNA Innovative Education Leadership Award by DNA and Stars Group. Recently, he has been felicitated with Vocational Excellence Award 2020 by Rotary Club of Mumbai West Coast. He has received several grants from AICTE and organized FDPs in OBE. He has conducted seminars cum workshops at more than 20 educational campuses in Maharashtra on outcome-based education in the last 5 years. These workshops were highly appreciated by teachers as well as management of these institutes. He is on advisory board of some of the industries and also governing council member on colleges. He is also auditor and academic advisor to some of the colleges. I welcome you, sir, to the session with a virtual book day. I request all the participants to mute your microphone and video for better experience. I once again request the participant to take an active participation in the session. Okay. Now I am hand over the mouse to Rathod sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much for the nice introduction. I hope I stand to my introduction that you have given. Let me share my slides and so I think now ma'am actually said that you mute your mic and turn off your video and then do not do anything, but my first instruction is exactly opposite. Sorry, Sheetal madam, you have to do exactly opposite. Okay. Now I want you to write in the chat box. I will not ask any point of time organizers whether slides are visible or not. I will only ask the participants. Participants should respond. If participants are not responding, then there is no point in having this particular topic. So are slides visible? Chat box. We are going to interact. This is an interactive session. If those who are thinking that you will only remain a spectator, that's not going to happen. Yes, your screen is visible. Thank you, Dr. Aarti. I want to know from other participants. Yes, you can write only yes. And come on, fast. There are 32. So if I let us say organizing committee members, let us say 4 or 5, then there are at least 27 participants present. More than 25 definitely. So I would like to know the responses, quick responses. Very good, very good, very good, very good. Okay. So see, if you respond, then only this topic has a meaning. Otherwise, this topic has no meaning. So challenges and solutions of learning outcomes, attainment in remote learning environment. Thank you very much, Professor Kasambe and his entire team, organizing team of this STTP, AICTE sponsored STTP, for giving me the chance to talk to the teachers. And I can see in the chat box there are many senior professors present in the chat box, in the list, in the participants list. So that means we will have a very good discussion today. Topic is also very challenging, and definitely I think solutions are more challenging than the challenges. So let us start the discussion. So my plan is from 10 to 11:30 is the timing given to me, and organizer will interrupt if I go out of range connectivity. And second point of time is if I exceed my time, they can stop me at any point of time. Just 5 minutes before, they can tell me, sir, you are exceeding the time, I will stop. Okay. Because this is a topic which is at very near to my heart, and therefore I go on talking. So let me first acknowledge, and the disclaimer is that I am standing or delivering this session. It is only because of the students and faculty of SPIT, because of the experiences that I had in last 22 years along with my students and my fellow colleagues. They have motivated me a lot. I learned many things from them, and they have challenged me at many point of time. They have supported me, and that's how I learned from them. And whatever I am going to discuss is basically the experiences. What are the challenges? What are the solutions, etc. Right? It's not written in any book, and therefore many reports I have to refer, like NBA, Deloitte reports, Gartner, UNICEF, UNESCO, NASSCOM. So data is coming from some picturized data, some tabulated data will come from all these reports. So it's their property, it's their IPR. And obviously, to make the session more interesting, I'm also using the internet resources. So this is my acknowledgement and disclaimer. Since it's an OBE session, so I believe that outcomes has to be stated at the start. At the end of the session, obviously, when you are going to give the feedback, you will only tell as a stakeholder of this STTP that how many outcomes have been achieved or not, to what extent, etc., etc. So end of the session, I'm not going to ask. Obviously, I believe that whatever feedback you are going to submit, which organizers will collect, in that you can put this kind of things. But what I feel is learning outcomes for me for this particular session are like this. I want you to recognize the value and the priority of creating an environment of remote learning. And particularly in this pandemic, in this challenging situation, that you should understand that yes, it is a very important priority that we need to create a proper learning environment. Second point is, I want you to identify the challenges. If you are already teaching in an online mode, very good. You might have challenges, so you can put forward those challenges in the chat box when I'm going to ask you. But if not, you are not started online teaching, then learn from the others. What are the challenges that you are going to face? Then I want you to comprehend the concept of learning outcomes with respect to evolving situation. So this is I believe this is the fourth day of the STTP, and many good resource persons, very senior resource persons might have spoken about what exactly the course outcomes, learning outcomes, program outcomes, so on and so forth. Probably because my title of the talk, if you read here, the title is like challenges, number 1 point. Number 2, solutions. Number 3, learning outcome attainment. And number 4, remote learning. So it's not a simple concept, because in a learning environment, how to attain the outcomes and what are the challenges, what are the solutions. So obviously I have to curtail, or I have to plan my talk accordingly. So we will be talking about challenges, we'll be talking about solutions, at the same time learning outcomes in this evolving situation, in the changing situation. And finally, I want you to highlight, you should be in a position to highlight the possible solutions. Obviously, nobody can say that this is the 100% correct solution, but it's a possible solution for attainment of these learning outcomes. Okay, so these are my expected outcomes out of this 1.5 hour session. So now our session starts. For next 5 to 10 minutes, you will be responding in the chat box start typing into the chat box, and through when I deliver the session, you will automatically realize some of the challenges and some of the solutions. I need not even speak at some point of time. So I want you to be live. Then only this is the first challenge. This is the first challenge. How do I make you live? Right? There are around 30 participants. So how do I make you live? So let us use the chat box in an efficient manner and start doing the job. I want you to quickly type. Quickly. When I say quickly, means quickly. Quickly type the answer for the first question that is visible on your slide. And I need not speak because that means you are looking at the slide also and you are typing the answer. So you are not looking here and there. You are interested in session. That's the meaning. Manirosa ma'am is there. Good morning, ma'am. Normal. Okay, ma'am. I want you to take from normal to excited situation. Good. Okay. Chital ma'am is happy. You are the coordinator. You are supposed to be happy. Very nice. Only 5, 6. No. At least 30 should come. At least 30 should. I already told. If you are not interacting with me, then please leave this session. There is no point in attending this session. Our session will go like this only. Very nice. Dr. Anant Patak is very happy. Very nice, sir. Happy to meet you. I want you to be excited at the end. Anyone else? Margi Patel madam, happy. Very nice. Go ahead. Quick. I want you to start discussion. JD Ramani. A means excited. Okay. Very nice. Anyone else? Bas. Where are others? Okay. So, Sujata Kulkarni madam, excited. Very good. Vaishali Ingre madam, A. Kasambe sir is supposed to be excited. Okay. Now let us go to next question. And these 2 slides, there are questions only so that you remain excited. If you are not excited, you become excited. Now it's a thinking time. It's a thinking time for you. And think about the answer of this question. No hurry. Think about the answer of this question and type in a chat box. What do you understand by this? What is quality according to you? Because see, why we are talking about quality? Outcome-based education, right? It's an outcome-based education. Improvement in quality, quality of content delivery, quality of teaching learning, quality in our interactions, quality of the course content, quality of the course outcomes. Finally, the entire improvement process. So I want you to write some kind of a statement or something about quality. So Vishal Rana says quality assurance of the process of the product. Okay. Okay. Good. See, nothing wrong. Please understand. We are interacting, right? There is no wrong answer. There cannot be. There is no wrong answer. I simply want you to realize, you to be in tune with the topic that is given to me by Professor Kasambe sir. That I want you to realize the challenges and solutions. So please be active. Okay, and standards of the processes, effectiveness, standard, mapping the expectation, practical, particular feature. Okay. Obviously, there cannot be wrong answer for this question, but may not be an appropriate answer, but there cannot be a wrong answer. Ashwini Saptal ma'am says that achieving an excellence is the quality. Achieving an excellence, do I say there was a CET result just last 2 days before or day before yesterday, there was a CET result. So if somebody got a 95% and someone got an 85%, 10 mark, 10% difference is there. So can I say that a student who has received a 95% has received a better quality education? Yes or no? Now write. A student who has got a 95 percentile in CET has received a better education than the student who has got 85 percentile in CET examination. No. Vishal Rana says no. Aarti Karande ma'am also says no. Manirosa ma'am says no. Nadir Khan sir said not necessary. Very right. Not necessary. Defensive answer. Correct. Not necessary. We can't say no and we can't say yes also. Correct? So, but then one thing is definitely sure. All of you are confused and you are saying, "हमको पता नहीं." We don't know whether किसका quality अच्छा रहेगा. It means that even though we are the teacher, we are pointing out to that pointer, that percentile. That means percentile is not the scale to map the quality of education. That's it. Correct? That's what all of you are saying. I'm not saying. Your answers are saying that the scale that we are using, percentile, probably is not the scale to map the quality of education. Correct? Okay. Anyways, whatever questions I'm asking on these two slides, I'm not going to give you the answer for anything, because I believe either they are already discussed, or you have to find out on your own by self-learning. Type quickly what you understand by this. I'm not going to ask the question because you are supposed to see on the screen. I'm treating you like a student, sorry. I have to do that, correct? What is the difference between objective and outcome? आप बोल दिया, चलो ठीक है. What is your understanding? I think this is the fourth day, means definitely this must be clear to you. Goal and achievement, okay. Anything you can write regarding objective and outcome that you have understood in last 3 days. Objective points to be targeted. Objectives is aspirations. Okay. Outcome is the output. Oh, madam. Output and outcome, by the way, are different. I could have put that question also. What's the difference between output and outcome? But probably tricky question, because I don't have time to discuss on that, and that's not my topic exactly for today. Objective means a set of aims to achieve to be in future, and out in future. Objective in future, and outcome means achieved after graduation. नहीं. और आगे. See, when you teach a course, you do have objective as well as outcome. चलो मैं इसका एक लाइन में आंसर देता हूँ. You can think afterwards. But right now, you may keep this in a point that as far as course is concerned, as far as a particular course is concerned, then in that case, objective is a teacher-centric and outcome is a student-centric. Okay? Abhi, what is objective? What is outcome? If you're not clear, there are further sessions coming up. I believe evening session is also there. So you can ask the resource persons this point of, because those sessions are centered towards the concept of outcome. चलो अभी इसका आंसर दे दो, बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन है. What do you understand by the complex engineering problem? Because why this question is there? If you see all your 12 program outcomes, कितने हैं? 12 है, बराबर है. Start from engineering knowledge, problem analysis to the lifelong learning. You will see that very interesting word comes over there. Complex engineering problem. Student will be able to solve complex engineering problem. Analyze complex. What is this complex engineering problem according to you? Just write quickly, fast. कुछ तो लिखो. What is your understanding? Very difficult problem is a complex problem. Okay. Difficult to implement. Okay. Solution for a large volume. Acha. More dependent calculations. Okay. To some extent, okay. Maniroza madam is saying need good thinking. Yes. More detail. Need good amount of thinking. Yes. What else? Sudhir sir says that needs higher order thinking. Yes. Excellent. Go ahead. More understanding required. Application of what we have learned during engineering. That's a one concept, sir. Kadir sir, that's a one concept of entire complex engineering problem. ये आपको शाम के सेशन में समझ जाएगा. I am confident of that because any resource person is there is going to talk about it. Okay. Okay. ठीक है. I believe for complex engineering problem, I have one slide. If I get a time, I will talk about that at that point of time. But I would like to give a one-liner about complex engineering problem. Complex doesn't mean a very difficult or something which we can't understand. Complex का मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि हमको समझता नहीं है, right? It is not like that. The complex means which involves higher order thinking, somebody has already said, and which involves decision making, which involves basically a decision. Decision has to be taken by a student while solving the problem, and an intelligent decision. Correct? So you on your own dig more into it, but that has to be very clear. Complex मतलब बहुत बड़ा लिख के रखा हुआ problem है, or else very complex terminology is used. No, it's not like that. Okay, it involves decision making basically. Let us go ahead with the next question. Now interesting questions comes. Again 4 questions, but very interesting. I want answer for this. As many as you respond will be very nice. Read the question. Miss Novelty comes to you and asks why she should attend your class, online classes. But I have used the word online classes. What would be your answer? Some student comes to you. I have given a fictitious name. Miss Novelty comes to you and asks, why should I, sir, madam, why should I attend your online class? Give me an answer. This might happen with anybody. Think about it. Write in a chat box. Quick. Okay, Ramani sir बोलते हैं कि online overview of concept of virtual platform. I see, but subject. Let us say I teach VLSI design course or electronic devices course. Student will ask me, why should I attend your classes, online classes, sir? What answer should I give? To increase the knowledge of any particular subject, okay, which I can get from any book. To ease of understanding the concept. Okay. See, now the difficulty level of questions started. You realize, सबसे पहला question था, how are you feeling today? Immediately you replied, correct? Happy, excited, like that. But now the difficulty level started. Now your thinking got ignited. You are thinking. You started thinking. Understand the concept. Fundamental concepts can be cleared precisely. But see, all of you, the answers you are giving, no? Okay, I'll talk about it later. चलो अभी आंसर देखते हैं ना जो भी आप लोग दे रहे. You will get a better understanding of the content. So simple answer. Student can ask you the next question, but I can get it in a book also, sir. I can get it on through other googling also. I can get all those things, right? Then why should I attend your classes? Chalo, next. This is very important, and as many as you answer will be better for me. You are the teacher for the course ABC. Student Mr. Bright, some fictitious name. Student Mr. Bright has an opinion that course ABC is tough. So Miss Novelty assume that she has also enrolled to your course, and Mr. Bright has also enrolled in your course. And now Mr. Bright feels that your course is tough. What would be the reason for this according to him? Why he's thinking your course is tough? Right, quick. बस दो ही क्वेश्चन आएंगे और ज्यादा नहीं. Why your course is tough? You might have heard this any point of time. The student saying that your course is tough. Why do you think your course is tough? See, the difficulty level started, no? Please do not shy. There is no punishment. Unfortunately, this is online, so I cannot give you chocolates also for the correct answer or some grade also. Grade I can request to organizing committee that please monitor the chat box, and those who are interacting, give them the bonus marks in the tests or assessments that they are doing. Those who are not interacting, give them some penalty. It's as simple as that. So I hope Kasam sir has noted that those who are interacting in the chat box, give them the bonus marks, grade marks, grace marks. And those who are not interacting, please give them the penalty as well. Both are must. Both are required.
You are PEC member, so you.
Yes. So
Thank you
see
so
the
much.
chat box. See the chat box. Go on keeping the tab on the chat box. So okay, maybe not concentrating on the lecture. Okay, technique serving the knowledge. Okay, less study and prerequisite is not clear to him. Okay, maybe lack of concentration. Okay, go ahead. Not attending the lectures, so it may be possible. Okay. देखो आपको see our topic is, please understand, our topic is challenges of online education, correct? So you have realized unless you put here not using the easy way of learning, okay, chalo ठीक है, no wrong answer, but let us have first put all the answers over here, as many as you can. And you also, when I'm saying these answers, you also keep chat box on the tab, all participants, so that what others feel that also you can put it in your mind. Online classes are not easier than traditional classrooms. Okay. In terms of what, sir? Prakash, sir? No internet connectivity for online education. Anay, sir, that is a different aspect. Why course is tough? Internet connection is sab hai. Attending, student is attending the class, no? Then also student has felt that your course is tough. Basics not cleared. Regularly or not attending the subject, not doing the practice regularly. Student is not doing the practice regularly. Okay, I go to next question. Okay, let us go for next question. Very interesting question. And if there was a session on outcome, what is course outcomes, etc. If you give me a right answer for this question, then I will think that you have understood the sessions for day 1, day 2, day 3. If you are not giving the right answer for this question, then you need to revise the concept. So in a class, Professor Enthusiastic, just a fictitious name, Professor Enthusiastic has discussed the design problem that requires analysis concepts. He had a great interactive session. Now he has asked the same design problem in the examination. Please select which one of the following Bloom's level he is testing. I'm sure you may be aware of Bloom's level, right? So somebody might have discussed Bloom's taxonomy. So you may be aware of this. So bottom two, if I say remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating, read the concept. If you want, read the question again and then you give me the answer. Understanding, Vishal Rana, Mani Rosa madam applying, T. Niranjan sir remembering, Chital madam remembering, anyone else? NK Bansode applying. I can give you time for reading, no problem. Read the sentences again if you are confused. This could have been a Viva question or assessment question, quiz question. Analyzing, understanding. Thank God nobody is writing, creating and evaluating. Okay, so but the answers are split. I think 2 said remembering and understanding also one or two, applying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chintamani Chauhan sir said applying. Kadir Khan sir says analyzing. Pallavi madam says remembering. I know Pallavi madam or Renuka madam se expected hai remembering bolna. Okay, so I will give you the right answer for this question because you should not remain confused. Correct? Right answer for the question is remembering. Because even though it was a design concept, even though it was an application or analysis, whatever it is, but teacher has already discussed in a class. Everything has been discussed, and you are asking the same thing. So somebody without any application, any thinking can only recollect and remember and reproduce in the examination. So just give a thinking about it. More thinking about it, you will realize. Finally, have you heard of Bloom's digital? This is the last question. Have you heard of Bloom's digital taxonomy? Yes or no? Just write. Because you already had a Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, no. Okay. Acha, Ashwini sir, okay. Ashwini madam, yes. Yes. No. Okay. Okay. So these are the questions. Interesting answers. If you see, no. Second question on this slide was an interesting answer. When I asked you, your subject is tough. Student is feeling that your subject is tough. Most of you have replied that he is not able to concentrate, he is not able to remember, or unka connectivity issue hai, not revising the concepts. So many things you people have said, everyone have said, but I could not get an answer that it is probably a fault in my teaching. I need to improvise my teaching. Everyone pointed out towards the student. Just go back and see your chat box. I don't know anyone might have been an exception, but majority of you pointed out that it is because of student. It is not because of us as a teacher. We have blamed the student for course being the tough. Oh, this answer has come. Okay. So now next thing is okay. I got an answer. Technique serving the knowledge. See, what happens is when I am giving the conclusion, overall conclusion, if there are 43 participants, I believe some of them might have answered rightly. Majority of what pandemic did to us. This was supposed to be asked, but because of time limit, I will not ask you because I am not observing that many responses also in the chat box. So according to me, there are two things that have happened because of pandemic. One is there's a big difference that have been resurfaced between the India and Bharat. We used to call ourselves developing country, moving towards developed country, becoming superpower. But as soon as pandemic came, see difference between India and Bharat have been resurfaced. If you want to know more about it, just go back and see the media clips, how people lost their jobs and how they were traveling on road for kilometers and kilometers to go back to their home. So I did not do much about it. This is a very sad reality, and it's a reality for the education system as well, because we have not even concluded our first year admissions. So this is the difference between India and Bharat. This is the difference between India and Bharat according to me. Second point is that rapid infusion of digital skills. These two things have primarily happened as far as education is also concerned. Rapid infusion of digital skills, right? What do I mean by that? You will be more clear about it. This is what Mahatma Gandhi ji said: "Live as if you were never to die. You were to die tomorrow. Sorry, live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were live forever." Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. What is this? This is your 12th graduate attribute, which is called as lifelong learning. So Mahatma Gandhi ji has given us a mantra of lifelong learning so many years ago. It is not a new. When people say that ye foreign se aaya hai, completely wrong. So this is what the mantra has been given by Mahatma Gandhi ji, that lifelong learning, you develop yourself. According to me, lifelong learning is ongoing process of self-motivation towards the pursuit of the knowledge, right? This is what is the lifelong learning, the meaning is. So why do we go towards online education? Primary and the most important reason is to fulfill the 12th graduate attribute, that is of a lifelong learning. So in this particular knowledge economy, what we need is a continuous growth and skill advancement. This is the need of the day, right? Today we are living in a society which is called as a knowledge economy. Knowledge economy requires not only the fundamental knowledge, but it also requires the skill set and the recent and the relevant skill set, so that graduates become employable. And I need not talk much about employability and unemployability. You can understand that, right? So the interesting slide on this particular interesting aspect on this slide is that I don't know whether you are aware or not, but then the skill set that you are imparting to your students becomes outdated every 5 years. Do you know this? The skill set that we are imparting to the students becomes outdated after every 5 years. The skill set has a lifetime of maximum of 5 years of a span. So every few years, every 5 years, there is an invention in the skill set that is required by an industry, that is required by the human life, right? And therefore, there is a need for lifelong learning. So need for lifelong learning comes from the invention of the skill set, right? So I believe this is a short video, but it will not be what I should say. It will not be seen by this mechanism. So I'll have to re-share my screen, and then you can see it. It's a very 2 or 3 minutes video about the lifelong learning, and I'm showing you the video so that you remain engaged. So what is the need of lifelong learning?
Our world is undergoing fundamental and disruptive change, technological, organizational, demographic, climatic, presenting new challenges to the future of work. These global megatrends are having a profound impact on skills. Many of today's skills won't match tomorrow's jobs, and skills acquired today may quickly become obsolete. The concept of lifelong learning has been around for decades, and the ILO has adopted numerous normative instruments and policies related to lifelong learning. But the unprecedented transformation underway is redefining its terms and giving it new importance.
In the old days, we could say, let's go to school, get qualified for a job, enter the labour market, and that's the job of learning done. We need people to learn how to learn, because learning is going to be a feature of the transitions they're going to go through throughout their lives.
Lifelong learning affects us all. It is central to managing the transitions we face over the life cycle, from early childhood and basic education to adult learning and upskilling and reskilling to take advantage of change. It is a global concept applying to developed and developing economies. And it requires the active engagement and support of governments, employers, and workers. How do we adapt lifelong learning to our new reality? There's no one-size-fits-all strategy, but there are things we can do. Develop foundational and core work skills. Coherent and affordable financial and non-financial incentives. Improve vocational guidance and labor market data. Recognize both formal and informal skills learning. Improve coordination. And ensure equitable access to learning. Today, there is renewed interest in lifelong learning. It's a major goal of the United Nations Agenda for Sustainable Development. And the Global Commission on the Future of Work has called for formal recognition of an entitlement to lifelong learning. Ultimately, lifelong learning is the key for people to be able to benefit from new ways of working, and it will light the path on our journey to a brighter future of work.
Okay, so that was the short video, just to make you clear about how important it is to have a lifelong learning skills. And the video was from International Labour Organization. It's a very well-known organization, worldwide organization. So my slides are again visible, right? So which is the best example of lifelong learning? Best example of lifelong learning is you, no one else. It's you. Why I'm saying you? Because you are attending this workshop. That's it. Why you are attending this workshop? You are attending this workshop because you want to learn. Why you want to learn? Because you want to remain upgraded, right? You want to upscale your skills, and that's why you are the best example. Teacher is the best example of lifelong learning skills. Teacher has to always upgrade himself or herself, right? So, okay, let us go ahead. Because of lifelong learning, we need to learn these new things. We need to go for online education. There is no going back. So now few slides. What this pandemic has done, next thing pandemic has done is change in the perception, change in the thinking, complete change in the thinking. Before pandemic, we always used to tell the students that do not bring mobile phone, but now that is impossible. That is impossible. You will never be in your entire life able to tell to the students that do not bring mobile phones to the classes. This is what has happened. It has changed, right? Completely changed, right? Then, so RIP to your traditional classroom classes. No more traditional classroom classes. They are going to happen. If you think that you are going to back to the college and there will not be any online learning happening, then I believe that this thinking is not appropriate, correct? Because now colleges have realized that we as a teacher can engage students in an online manner, right? And therefore, more and more online is going to happen. Probably there might be a blended learning, that's something happening in the college, something happening online. But now online cannot stop. So full traditional classroom is stopped. Now I want again you to interact in the chat box, and this framework you might have realized, somebody might have definitely shown you this OBE framework, and I want you to type the answer for 1, 2, and 3. What is 1, what is 2, and what is 3? Scratch your brain and write 1, 2, and 3. You can write in a sequence 1, 2, 3. What do you think? What is 1? What do you think? What is 2? What do you think? What is 3? This is how actually you can engage the students also in an online manner. But you need to write quick enough. What do you think? What would be 1? What would be 2? And what would be 3? 1 is PO, 2 is CO. 1 is PO, 2 is CO. Very nice. Nirmala madam replied, Aarti madam replied, Vishal sir replied. 2 is CO, 2 is CO, 3 is PO. 3 is PO. Look towards left and right. Left hand side outcome, right hand side assessment. Left hand side outcome, right hand side assessment. Very nice. But then many should reply, because now 47. We are almost reaching half century. Correct? PO. Very good. Very good. Very good. So I will show you the answer now. Vishal sir ne likha barabar. Very nice. Third, I got the answer for third also. Congratulations, Vishal sir. So thumbs up to you. This is what is a PO and CO, right? So just to remind you that what is there are outcomes, there is an assessment. These two are linked, and this is what is an outcome-based education framework, right? Starts from course, program outcome, etc., and there has to be an assessment. So when we are talking about challenges of online teaching learning and the solutions of course outcome attainment, so obviously we have to be very clear about this framework. This is what is a framework, correct? Okay, now let us go to next. What do you think the benefits of this remote learning environment? What are the, let us talk about good thing first. Okay, challenges will come on the next slide probably, but first let us think about good things that are happening because of online learning environment. So what are the benefits? What do you think? What are the benefits? So many benefits should come forward, but chalo likho fast. What are the benefits of online learning? Learning is continued. Okay. Saves time and money. Flexible enough. Okay, good. इसके तो बहुत सारे आंसर है फटाफट. One person can give so many answers. What are the benefits of remote learning? If there is no benefit, what are we doing now? हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं अभी अगर इसका कोई फायदा नहीं है तो? We are not sitting in a physical classroom, right? So what do you think? What are the benefits of this? The mode in which this STTP is going on? It could be a simple classroom lecture. That from Gujarat I attend a session of, yes sir, very nice. Vishal sir is saying that I am from Gujarat and I am attending from Maharashtra. Let me tell you, Kasambe sir is sitting at Yavatmal. I don't know other coordinators where are they, and I am sitting in Mumbai. So linked, entire country probably is there, anytime, anywhere. Very nice. Anytime, anywhere. Convenient learning. Anything else? Okay, so I go ahead and show you the answer. Actually, I like to write over here, but because of time, I will not write. These are so many benefits. No need to read. Anytime, anywhere, you can think globally. You can invite expert from anywhere. Now my VLSI STTP is going on parallelly. I have invited an expert from outside, USA, Canada, correct? Because he is able to deliver in the online mode. He can do that. Right, so experts can be invited from anywhere. Teachers can be industry experts can be invited for delivering the session, participating in your session. So many benefits. This emoji has been shown. What it tells you? Anybody would like to comment on this emoji which has been shown? This is an interesting emoji. See, when you deliver in a classroom, physical classroom, a lecture, what you used to do if students are shouting, what you used to do? You tell them, keep quiet, shut your mouth, keep quiet, right? That regularly you have to tell to your students that keep quiet, shut your mouth, so on and so forth. You got a flexibility. You had this flexibility. As a teacher, you had this flexibility in the classroom to tell any student that you shut your mouth, you go out, all those things you used to do, or we used to do. I would say we all, right? But now situation is changed. In a physical classroom, student had no facility to mute the teacher. Student has no facility to mute the teacher. In online mode, student has got the facility to mute the teacher. Think about it, and then you'll realize that yes, it's a big statement. Student can mute to us. They cannot listen to us. It's very, very possible. Why I'm saying benefit? It is because when I said benefit, many of you actually thought from teaching perspective. You have not thought from the student perspective. What are the benefits that students are getting? What are the benefits of in an online mode student is getting? Correct. So one more. You can say because of our learning that happened in our entire life, we always think from our perception. We always think as a teacher. We never think from student center. We never try to bring the concept of student centricity, right? And that's why these kind of answers we do get. But yes, these are the benefits, right? So if I combine these benefits to some extent, this is what is happening in an online mode. There is a personalized learning. You have to pay attention to each and every student, which was a difficult part in physical classroom. But now you can monitor each and every student. There are drawbacks also for that. That's a different aspect. But yes, personalized learning, anytime, anywhere, competency-based learning, and the student ownership. If student don't want to learn your lecture, then you can't force in an online learning. Student may join the class, but you don't know whether learning or not. Like for example, now 48 is there. I don't know how many are actually listening to this lecture. Correct? Now let us come to the first word of our topic, challenges. Now I want you to write what are the challenges you think of this remote learning environment. What are the challenges you feel that these are the challenges of remote learning environment? Because we need to talk about the solution as well. If you don't put the challenges, then I will simply go on putting next slide. Very good. Chintamani Chavan sir said connectivity. We shall have proper internet. Okay. No synchronization. But now Sheetal madam, see, I am able to synchronize with you from last 45 minutes, if I'm not wrong. Internet connectivity, okay. Aarti madam, kitna stress lenge aap zindagi mein? Stress of what? That time also we used to run, or people used to run for the catching the local to go to the college. So that stress was different. This stress is different. No seeing students, because see, you can unmute your camera. I have not stopped anybody, right? Somehow it's boring for the student. Oh, sorry. Lack of concentration of students. Okay. Health stress. Okay. Vishal sir, bade achha answer de rahe. Personal motivation. Okay. Health issues, eye problems. Yes, agreed. Very difficult to monitor students. Yes. Technical issues. Majority of you have said technical issues, no doubt about it. Correct? So obviously, when I say solution, we cannot have solution for everything, right? So, but these are the challenges. If you primarily see, your challenges are, I will write here. But see, one of the challenge, all of you will realize this is the problem. Attendance, right? So how we used to call the attendance in your physical classroom, right? I can pronounce the name, and then student used to say yes or no. Present, absent, right? So for example, here if I say Prashant, now Prashant should say yes sir, yes madam, correct?
Yes sir.
So you are physically present. I come to know that you are physically present. Second, if I say someone is, I don't want to pronounce the name, but I can see in the chat box those who are not participating at all, physically present. I don't know whether they are hearing to me. They might be hearing. Words are falling onto their deaf ears, but then where are they? We don't know mentally. They may be thinking about this lecture itself, but something else, not concentrating on topic. This used to happen in the offline class also, right? Right? We do. That time also we used to say, "Arey baba, present to hai, lekin dhyan do." Correct? Now this is the third category which I feel I have added over here, virtually present. Now here 48 candidates are present, 48 students are present according to me. But I don't know out of them how many have connected to this or logged into the workshop just because of some formality and are doing something else in their house. Definitely. I'm 100% sure. Out of 48, there will be few who probably may not be listening also. Correct? Otherwise, all 48 responses I should get in the chat box. So that means they are physically also not present. Let me tell you, they are physically not present. Obviously, then mentally not present. They are virtually present. So why I am bringing this issue? According to me, this issue is very important. So when we say that, okay, to solve attendance issue, we take the attendance from the Google Meet. I don't know how much valid that Google Meet attendance is, right? That's what I wanted to convey the message over here. Okay. So now the challenges faced, you already told many challenges. First one I have wrote, and immediately this is what the answer I got: technical difficulties. Yes, we do have technical difficulties. Students do have technical difficulties, but answer you have to find out. As a teacher, what we can do at the most is we can actually get connected to the students in a frequent manner. Before starting the sessions, we can ask students whether they have a reliable access to the technology or not. That's what we can do as a teacher, right? Otherwise, institutions can do a much rather than an individual teacher, I would say. Lack of motivation, yes. Arey baba, physical classroom mein usko padhana difficult tha. Now online class, again motivating the students is a very difficult task. It's a challenge. Yes, I agree, it's a challenge. Lack of motivation. So let us not read everything. Isolation. This is important. Experience isolation. There are students probably they will feel isolated in the online classes. They are connected, they are joined, their net connection is everything. But as a teacher, if I'm not talking, for example, if there is a student present over here in the classroom and I'm not talking to that student may feel isolated. Correct? For example, abhi ek example hai chalo, Sheetal madam. So I'm not talking to her. Sheetal madam, let us say. Sheetal madam is continuously connected, and I'm pronouncing only names of, let us say, Ashwini madam, Prakash sir, Nirmala madam, something like that. If I'm pronouncing, वो बोलेगा मेरे तरफ तो बात ही नहीं करते student, right? So this do come because there is no eye-to-eye contact present, and there are many supporting issues that created because of the experience isolation. Rest, I did not tell you, time management, time consuming, so on and so forth. So we will not talk more about the challenges because of time constraints, but let us think about it. Solutions will concentrate more. Distractions. How many you feel that online education has created more distractions? Yes or no? Answer quick. I believe quick enough for this. Distractions is a major issue now. This somehow has not come into our answers. Yes. मुझे पूछना है चिंतामणि सर को, सर ने सिर्फ अकेले ने नो लिखा. Why do you feel no, sir? Something you can type. You can unmute also. I have not told anybody to unmute the mic. If anybody wants, can unmute also. Okay, no problem in that. Why do you feel no? Because you have only given answer no. That's why I asked. Otherwise, there is no reason.
So, just I want to know what kind of distraction you are talking about.
Teaching, learning. When students are learning, whether they are learning or not. What happens is, when I ask these questions, earlier questions, what are the challenges you are facing? People do write this question that increase distractions because of this online mode. But anyway, your answer is?
Yeah, I do not believe that, because if people, students are more interested in teaching, there won't be any distraction for them. So that will be willingness of the student, whether they get distracted or the way of teaching effectiveness the teacher is making in your presentation. Depending on that, this student will decide whether they get distracted or not, or they will get motivated or not.
Yes, sir. Actually, let me congratulate you. Your answer is correct. And even no is yes. Actually, no answer is yes. Because if you feel that online is distracting the students, you are wrong. Just see these pictures. And then you will realize that there were a lot of distractions. The problem was you probably were not realizing that there were distractions, because those distractions were happening at your back. You were looking at board and you were not realizing that students got distracted or they were distracted. Now you are realizing because you are looking at front. Laptop is in front of you, correct? So fun, out of these fundamentals, fun is lost in the classroom teaching for the students actually. So you feel that they are distracted, but it's not true. It's a myth. Distractions were there present earlier also, and distractions are present now also. Nothing as far as changes, as far as distractions are concerned. It's only we as a teacher, we are not engaging probably in a proper manner. That's what sir also wanted to say right now, the same answer, correct? Okay, this probably is the next problem. आप लोगों ने किसी ने लिखा नहीं unfortunately, but there are people present over here who will appreciate that yes, assessment, examination in online mode is a problem, challenge, and ensuring an authenticity of examination, that students are not copying, they are not cheating, is a bigger challenge. Correct? So there are multiple solutions for this, and I was expecting this challenge to come forward from you, because there are so many slides that I have prepared to work on this challenge, but then you have not put this as a challenge, right? Sir, audio problem not from my side, no? Dr. Tulsidas, just okay. So my last line, 2 lines are here, the important one. It's about being creative, trying to change the type of question. See, the assessments we are doing, we need to completely change the pattern of assessment, which we have not realized it. So you will realize it after a few slides, but that is what we need to do. We need to be creative in doing the assessments. And second point is, as far as cheating is concerned, you are never going to be able to stop people from cheating. This is from last 5,000 years is going on. Even if you see Mahabharata, cheating used to happen, and now also cheating is going to happen. You cannot stop it. Okay, so you can minimize it, but you cannot stop it. That's not the thing that we'll do. If audio problem continues, please let me know. Okay, so these challenges can be coupled into multiple things, like there might be academic conditions like teaching, learning, instructional time. Anytime we go on calling the classes, right? Students, we are expecting that when we are available, student is also available. So academic conditions, assessment, grading, reporting, these are the problems. Students and family support, equity, access to the material. Everybody cannot have the same thing, believe me. Mental, social, and emotional health of every student is different. That we are not realizing, because they are in a home, they are sitting at home, and the home environment is different. Correct? In fact, for us also, you will realize as a teacher, when we are teaching the classes, you know how the work, your home environment, how that is affect, what care you have to take, a lot of care you have to take. And students also do the same thing, right? Partnering with the family. So many people are doing online, brother, sister, etc., so many issues. Operational conditions, nutrition related conditions, attendance related, extracurricular. I would say out of this, extracurricular, major problem. What about the extracurricular activities in online mode? Correct? So that is another challenge. And digital learning needs, finally. Infrastructure, first of all, you need a proper internet connection. You are sitting in a city, village. How do you get an infrastructure? All of you have quoted that, right? Devices, people don't have devices. If there's an internet, if there's a devices, you don't have a proper software, right? If there's a software, you don't have the content, proper content, right? All of these things are there. Finally, no proper training or professional. So many problems are there. However, as a teacher, it is our job to realize minimum, to make the minimum out of this. For example, digital learning needs, probably students, they themselves have to solve, or government needs to solve if it is an infrastructure problem. But academic, at least we can improve. To some extent, operational we can improve, right? Student and family engagement also we can, to some extent, we can interfere and we can do those jobs. Probably digital learning requires some expenses and all those things. But this is the category of the thing. I'm not going to read these slides. Anyway, I'm going to provide you these slides. No issue. You need not write or something like that. I'm going to provide these slides. So I will rush through some of the slides. For example, UNICEF report. If you read UNICEF report, they have mentioned so many problems. They have mentioned solutions also. One of the interesting problem they have mentioned is the importance of teacher presence for remote learning. Presence of a teacher. Student should feel that teacher is present. Teacher is there and delivering, and it's not a robot. It's not a recorded session that is happening. For example, if I'm not interacting with you in a chat box, right? If I record this session, and if Professor Kasambe runs this session, probably student may not even come to know that this is a recorded session. Correct? So how do you feel the teacher is present? This is very important, and this UNICEF is telling the teacher need to realize that he's present in an online mode. Very important challenge. So in short, what teachers must understand now, that don't fear that online learning is going to take away the job. It's not going to happen. Don't think that dumping the online material is an online teaching. That is not also a different thing. Don't think that you are the best teacher in an offline class and you are the bad teacher in an online class. No, teacher is a teacher. If you are good in the offline class, you are also good in the online class. Probably you have not mastered the use of technology. That's why that feeling might have come. But otherwise, it's a teacher's trait. Vice versa, if somebody is not good in an offline class, definitely will not be good in an online class as well, right? So there are so many things. One thing to be realized is that adaptation of the technology. If you feel that your institution is going to adopt the technology, it's a very general trend, globally observed trend, that institutions move very slowly. Institutions upgrade themselves very slowly. However, teachers upgrade themselves very fast. So as a teacher, we need to upgrade ourselves very fast. Our institution probably will not move so fast, correct? So, okay, there are so many other slides I'll change. This is what pandemic has done to us. Our skill set is completely changed. Even industry is telling that skill set is changed. Now, you don't think about your traditional 12 graduate attributes only. You have to think about courage, you have to think about empathy, you have to think about curiosity, creativity, intuition, imagination, creative thinking, collaboration, leadership skills, so many innovations, right? So skill set is completely changed. There's a NASSCOM report, you can read it about it, correct? How the skill set has been changed and how pandemic has changed it. This is what is the NASSCOM also reported it. So digitization is going to stay over here. Digitization is not going to go. That's what I want to tell you. Right? So these are some statistics, you can read it afterwards. We don't have much time for that. Now let's talk about solutions. What are the solutions? So many problems. The best way to predict the future is to create it. We cannot simply go on talking about challenges. Convert this word challenges itself into opportunities. We can call now them as opportunities. Allow the organizations to reinvent themselves. Empower the people, empower the teacher, empower the students. That's what is the solution. Empower your teacher so that he is capable of handling these online sessions. Train him, give them the resources, give them the proper softwares, right? So organizations need to reinvent first of all, and then teachers themselves need to empower themselves, right? So the response to this particular pandemic situation could be like this. Respond first. First of all, respond. Acknowledge that there is a challenge and we need to continuously reinvent ourselves. Then try to recover out of this situation. Try to emerge more and more stronger. Try to learn more and more. And then finally, prepare for the next normal. Prepare yourself for the next normal. So make your system so resilient that even if next pandemic comes or next wave of pandemic or anything else comes, we need to be very resilient. Right? We need to adopt. We were not prepared. That's why there was an issue. Entire world was not prepared. We miss entire world actually. This is the report from UNICEF. What UNICEF is talking that this is what education institutions should do. First of all, education institutes or teachers should engage the students in a proper manner. This is what we should do right now. Engagement of learners. There are learners from different categories. Categories doesn't mean, I'm not talking about the categories of caste. Categories means different family background, financial background, right? Diversity in their culture, right? Physical diversity, right? Somebody may be of a differently able student. People are not thinking about these diversities. First of all, engage them, talk to them. Then only you will attain the outcome. First of all, your input has to be stable to attain the outcome. Input to output, output to outcome. This is the chain, correct? Input, you take, process it, you get an output, and then you see whether there is an outcome or not. First of all, stabilize our input. That is the first solution. Engage with them. This is UNICEF is talking about. Then reinforce the learning. Once you start engagement, then start reinforcing your teaching learning in terms of different skill set. And finally, progress, right? Finally, plan for the long term. This is what we are supposed to do, correct? One more thing, important slide which I prepared, thought about it and I prepared it in this manner. We had a traditional path. We all did this in our life. We take admission. We see the prospectus of an institution A. We take admission. We do the studies. We take a degree. We become an alumni. Actually, this can be extended. We take a job. We remain in that job, preferably remain in that job. We retire and then we enjoy our life. This is what is the traditional path followed from so many years, correct? This path has completely been changed and it is going to change more. Now students take admission in institution A, takes a prospectus, looks at institution A, likes, takes an admission. While studying at that college itself, student is going to change this path, right? He may go to institution B, he may go to institution C, he may adopt some other certificate, he may go for a self-paced e-learning programs. Even after degree, students are not satisfied. They will go for some corporate training. They may take a job, but they will again go for corporate training. They will go for higher studies. They will become alumni. In fact, if I want to extend this particular graph of lifetime learning or lifelong learning, now this has become very surprisingly like this. From school days, now it is not a traditional path. It is not a linear path. So in one line in an engineering language, if I want to say you, earlier days, this path of career growth, career path was linear. Now it has become non-linear. And you can understand as an engineer, a system when goes from linearity to non-linearity, what happens? I need not tell you, correct? So it has completely become non-linear. In fact, for example, after retiring also people are not satisfied. They are trying to find out the part-time jobs, right? People are there after retiring also probably are joining some courses, learning new things, and then again going back to different kind of occupations, right? Different kinds of jobs. So linearity has become non-linearity, right? Shift in mindset. If you want to attain outcome, shift in mindset is must. So it's okay. Now important slides only I'll talk. Bandwagon effect. This is very important. Bandwagon effect means what? If Rathod sir is doing this, he is an influential person, so I should also do that. It's not completely true for changed situation. This situation is completely changed. For example, if somebody is an influential, right, and somebody is an influential and wants to let us say follow, like for example somebody is outsourcing some work and then other people also starts to outsource the work. That is not true. So two types of skill sets are called as, one is called as blue skills, another is called as red skills, right? Both are important. Blue skills and red skills in terms of OBE model, if I talk, that is one of the graduate attribute that is called as individual performance and teamwork. This has been mentioned here in a different manner. It's a management language, bandwagon effect, but individual performance and teamwork, both are important. If you want to be successful, you should be the performer, first of all. If you are the performer, then your team will also become performer. So both are important, right? This is what is required in an uncertain time. So people are not able to engage in an online mode, probably because they may not be able to perform themselves, expecting from a team, or vice versa, correct? Then, अच्छा ये सब अभी हम लोग discuss नहीं करेंगे because I don't have time. I want you to engage in a different manner. Are we smart enough? Write something about picture number one and picture number one first. Whatever you see about picture number one, fast. Come on, fast. I want to engage you again. Picture number one, right? Fast.
Sir, how can the liquid in the pot fall when we turn the kettle?
I said type, madam, please. Type. Because I want you to type. Tea time, madam. But then, excellent answer. I liked it. Acha, picture two. Picture two. Picture two. Yes. So others are not interacting, but those who are interacting, right answers I got. Picture one. Beautiful chart, right? However, wrong design, completely wrong design, faulty design. Manufacturing may not be because it can be manufactured like that, but design is faulty, right? So that's what somebody has muted the mic and was trying to say. Yes, correct. It's a faulty design. There is no outcome. You cannot serve the tea, right? That's the meaning. Picture two is also faulty. How picture two is faulty? Push and pull. See how the handle is. Push. Pull is okay. How push? Push cannot be like this. Faulty design, wrong design, correct? So think about why I have shown this picture. That you must be thinking, sir, ये picture क्यों दिखा? Think about your courses. Think about your course outcomes. You need to align your activities, technology, everything. You need to realign everything, correct? because there might be, I'm not saying that everything is wrong or there might be a fault, but you need to rethink, realign, review your course outcomes and the attainment and the activities, correct? So for this purpose, shortly zoom in and zoom out. This effect is called as zoom in, zoom out effect. First, see your course outcome, zoom out to them. Zoom out means think from broader perspective, that whether they are available, envision them, focus on them, zoom it out and see what is happening, whether they are leading towards graduate attribute properly or not. Then zoom in. Zoom in means again come back, compact and focus, concentrate on your single course outcome, correct? So that is called as zoom in, zoom out. Write something about a good outcome is smart about this particular statement. I want you to write about this good outcome is smart. इसके बारे में आपको क्या पता है? Write something about this statement. Anything that you know about this statement. A good outcome is smart. Good outcome is smart. Okay. If you are not able to realize the entire statement, if you are not able to comprehend the entire statement, write about smart. Only smart. Only this word smart. I want you to write something about SMART, smart. Arey, no answer. How come? Easy one to get output. Measurable. और कोई? Next. Action verb. Oh, anyone else? Smart is an action verb. How come? I don't know. I'm not English teacher, so I can't actually tell this right or wrong. Output must target the issue you are concerned with. Okay. Next. Koi aur? Oh, I thought you will be knowing, and so I need not spend a time. But anyway, I need not spend a time because you can ask someone else. Smart outcome. If you are defining an outcome, it has to be smart. Smart is a long form of something. S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A stands for attainable, R stands for realistic, and T stands for time bound. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time bound. Something which is very specific, something which you can measure, something which is possible to attain, something which is related to our real life, and something which is a time bound, within how much time you can attain, correct? So any outcome, when you are defining, it has an action verb, subject, and the context. So do not forget about it. Any outcome, when you are defining, it has an action verb, it has a subject, and it has a context. So I wanted to give you this particular quiz, but it's already 11:15. So, but think about it. At least this is supposed to be kind of an online assessment. Yes, anybody was talking? Can you complete this assessment? Think about it. इसमें से this is an exam. Consider this as an examination. Assessment in a different manner. Online assessment. Okay. You have to complete this like puzzle. Up, down, crosswords you have to complete, right? I will pass on this to Professor Kasanbe, then he can consider at any point of time answer. But लेकिन इसमें से एक का तो answer दो. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Answer for at least one.
One is student, down, student.
One is student. Just
Yeah.
try to fill madam there. Yes, T-U-D-E-N-T. नहीं madam, one is
Vertical.
coming ले. अच्छा vertical, हाँ? अच्छा आपको 1, 2, 3, 4 दिख भी नहीं रहा होगा शायद ऐसे. Oh.
Down, मतलब down, vertical.
लेकिन वो स्टूडेंट डाला तो फिर उसको हॉरिजॉन्टल मैच करना पड़ेगा.
ओ बाप रे, बहुत बड़ा है 4.
वो मैच नहीं होता. I know that doesn't get match. वो मैच नहीं होता. ठीक है, मैं आपको ये बाद में बता दूंगा. ठीक है, उसका आंसर है इधर.
Cognitive, okay.
ओके, अभी ये वाला दूसरा एग्जांपल था, दूसरा असेसमेंट. अभी ये हमारे पास टाइम नहीं तो उसमें कंप्लीट नहीं होगा. बट ये इसके लिए तो आधा घंटा भी कम है. बट आई जस्ट वांट टू शो यू नाउ हाउ यू कैन कंडक्ट. यू कैन स्ट्रेच योर ब्रेन. आइडेंटिफाई द 2 levels हिडन बिलो फ्रॉम ईच ऑफ द ब्लूम्स डोमेन. तो ओपन बुक एग्जामिनेशन ऐसा बोल सकता हूं मैं इसको. सो इसमें स्टूडेंट को क्या करना है? यू हैव टू फाइंड आउट ब्लूम्स डोमेन्स. व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट ब्लूम्स डोमेन्स? Then out of Bloom's domain, what are the levels? What are the descriptors? And you have to find out 2 from each level. So that means there will be 6 answers. So I will show you the answer. This is a kind of an answer. Okay. बाद में आप सोचना अभी इसके बारे में. Okay. I will not go to now Bloom's taxonomy, right? But this I have to tell because we are talking about outcome. See, when we talk about Bloom's taxonomy, generally it is focused on only cognitive domain, which is not true. There are three kinds of domains. So this first graph that is shown over here, chart, that is remembering, understanding, etc., is cognitive domain, right? Cognitive domain deals with the brain, thinking, mind. Affective domain deals with the heart, feeling, and psychomotor domain deals with the hands, doing the activities, correct? So middle one is an affective domain and the last one is the psychomotor domain. So mostly we talk only about one aspect, that is cognitive domain. But when you talk about output and the outcome, eventually you need to think about all three domains. When we are saying that students technically अच्छा perform करते हैं, but their ethical standards are not good, or they are not following the value chain, right? They are not following some ethical standards, right? Or what we are telling, they are not listening to us because we are not focusing on other aspect of the Bloom's domain. We are not talking about affective domain of Bloom's technology. We are not talking about the psychomotor domain of Bloom's technology. We are only talking about the brain. We are talking about the cognitive domain. So in a human body, all these three are important. That means your brain is also important, your heart is also important, and your hands and legs are also important, correct? Entire system is if you have entire system, then only it can function properly. Similarly, in Bloom's, just think about it. We are not able to attain outcome in this mechanism, online mechanism, also because we are mostly focusing only on the cognitive domain. That is what is my observation again, and that's what I wanted to tell you. There are a few videos, but I will not show now. ठीक है, हम इसको आगे बढ़ते हैं. So will this change in an online learning mode? Bloom's taxonomy, etc. Cognitive, psychomotor, affective domain. So our entire house has been destroyed by the earthquake, or you can say pandemic now. Our education system has been affected greatly by the pandemic. So how are you going to repair your house? Just you will change few things, or you have to do entire renovation? Basically, you have to do entire renovation now. Because if you do some like Dagduji, we call it, something here and there, then probably your house may not be resilient for the next pandemic or next earthquake, correct? So you have to think from every prospect, from all the angles. So there is a concept of Bloom's digital taxonomy, right? So you will appreciate that your students are using Google, they are Skyping, they are using WhatsApp, they are everything. They are booking Ola, Uber, Amazon, Swiggy, etc., etc., etc. All they are doing. If they are doing this on online mechanism, then there has to be a revision in Bloom's taxonomy. It has been recently proposed. That's called as a Bloom's digital taxonomy. So if you think about Bloom's digital taxonomy, again the levels are same: remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating. But the action verbs are different. The tools used are different. The methods for assessment are different, right? So for example, if I can zoom it here. Yes, I can zoom it. Okay. नहीं हो पाया. Okay, I can go towards left hand side. Okay. For example, this communication spectrum, entire spectrum now: texting, instant messaging, twittering, emailing, chatting, contributing, networking, posting, blogging, replying, questioning. So you see the kind of words that are used here, right? Which probably were not true in the earlier taxonomy. You can see here creating a blog, creating a video, mixing, remixing, right? So this new taxonomy has come into the education system, and you need to be aware of this new taxonomy also, right? So this is called as Bloom's digital taxonomy. What you do after the session, you simply Google out about the digital taxonomy, and you will get a lot of graphs. You probably only Google out Bloom's taxonomy, therefore you don't get it. You Google out Bloom's digital taxonomy, you will get many things, right? Okay. So you can align your assignments, etc., for this Bloom's taxonomy, like here, making a movie, making a podcast, creating a blog spot, etc., creating a TV show. Now, a few more things. How to achieve remembering in an online mode? Read this afterwards. Understanding in online mode? Read this afterwards. Applying in online mode. So, how to attain that? Which kind of an assessment activity you can do? That is mentioned over here, right? But one message I want to give: it's not about the tools. It's using the tools to facilitate learning. Often it has been taken, your technologies have been taken as granted that they are going to enhance the learning. It's not true. It's you who is going to decide whether technology is going to help you or not. So one shirt cannot fit everything, right? All these industries that are existing today, Flipkart, Swiggy, Amazon, they are working on a concept called as a recommendation system. People are designing recommendation system. All those machine learning AI people are designing recommendation system. Similarly, we need something called as an educational recommendation system, proper LMS system, which is not existing. That's why there are challenges. So this is one of the solutions. We need an educational recommendation system, LMS system proper, right? Okay. Next point. This is an interesting point which I want to tell. We need to change our instruction delivery mechanism in online mode as well. There are two kinds of instruction delivery in online mode. One is called as asynchronous, another is called as synchronous. Asynchronous means what? Learning occurs at a elapsed time. That means you are not present physically in an online mode, right? But learning is happening. That is called as asynchronous mode. In synchronous mode means learning in which participants interact at the same time and in the same space, the way which we are doing right now. That is called as synchronous mode, right? You need to appreciate that both are important. Asynchronous as well as synchronous mode are important, and they have their own benefits, they have their drawbacks, etc., etc. But it is now institution should not force that you should always connect to the teacher in an online mode, and पूरा का पूरा सेशन सारे लेक्चर्स ऑनलाइन ऐसे इंटरेक्टिव मैनर में ही होने चाहिए. That is not a good perception, because we are completely avoiding the concept of asynchronous mode, right? So these are the drawbacks, etc., etc., advantages mentioned over here. In simple words, asynchronous means a pre-recorded sessions, readings, right? Video demonstrations, which is happening when student is not physically present with you, not interacting with you, right? So you read afterwards about asynchronous and synchronous online education system. Then next is, okay, online assessment strategies. Assessment drives the learning. I need not tell more about it. You know, assessment drives the learning. If I start giving everybody less marks, very less marks, students will simply lose the interest. If I start giving very good marks, still student will lose the interest, because they know that teacher anyway, हमने कुछ नहीं किया तो भी marks मिलता है. So both are wrong, right? Assessment has to be very proper, right? So assessment basically drives the learning, the way we do the assessment. So there are two concepts. One is assessment of learning and assessment for learning. So remember that assessment for learning is possible in online mode in a very good manner. Assessment of learning is difficult, right? Taking the examinations the way we used to take an examination till the month of March is not a right appropriate method of assessment of learning. We need to do assessment for learning. So usually these kind of assessments are not graded. Obviously, institution has to adopt this policy, and then we need to go ahead. But we can move forward in this direction. This is the solution: assessment for learning and not assessment of learning, right? Okay. ये सब बाद में आप लोग देख लेना. Because we are ending now, we don't have much time. How assessment can be done? For example, this is a traditional quiz question. Example, the course that I taught, Law for Engineers, last year, from that only I picked it. The Right of Persons with Disabilities Act was passed recently in which year? What I am testing, I don't know. If I ask this kind of question, and that too in an online mode, right? Change in an online mode your pattern of asking the question. Same question can be asked in a different manner. That is called as a scenario-based learning. Create a scenario. Let the student think, and then let the student answer, right? So this is a particular scenario. Like one of the employees, this happens, then you apply. So students should know the concept. Students should know the concept. Another example, what is the best strategy for encouraging long-term behavior, change in your employees? Threaten them. That means punish them, or offer them a reward for changing the behavior, or offer a large reward for changing the behavior. This is the answer, these three answers. Traditional quiz will be like this. How do you encourage long-term behavior change in your employees, right? Create a scenario that Rahul is a sales manager who has done so and so, etc., etc. What should Rahul do to encourage his team? Then you put the answers in a different manner. So create a scenario-based learning in an online manner. This is the solution. Remember, this is the solution. Storytelling in a different manner, right? For example, if I simply show a picture like this and ask student to discuss, now how discussion should be carried out in an online mode? It's a challenge, correct? Show a story, picture like this. and then ask, you know what is this picture is, right? If I talk about it, you know why I have put in this picture, because all of us, we are aware of this. You will say, sir, ye kya baat hui? This kind of pictures does not lead to our course. then that statement is laughable, because this is a picture from my course, VLSI design, right? This is a picture from my course, right? This is a picture from my course, silicon wafer. But then the very fruitful discussions can be carried out. Very fruitful discussion carried out. This is a picture from my course, right? It's an amplifier. Hey, what's the matter? I did job expected. Tell me, this is the output. Discuss how this output is correct, wrong, what is happening, what not is happening, correct? Those who are interacting, obviously give them the bonus. Those who are not interacting, punish them. That's what is the online mechanism should work on. So this just few figures to tell you that you should not say कि sir ये possible नहीं है. These pictures I have shown so that you can understand what I am able to convey the message, what I want to tell. Storytelling means what, right? Okay. Anything else is here? Last thing, exactly 11:30 I am completing with this is from Mahabharata, you know very well, but then I will also show you one small 5 minutes video and then I will complete, right? This is true. Even if 5,000 years ago, entire OBE is about Mahabharata. Believe or not, entire OBE is about Mahabharata. Think about it. In fact, I can show you right now itself. Your Bloom's taxonomy that you are talking about is about Mahabharata. Sir, I say kaise. Now let us see. If you read Bhagavad Gita, there are 3 yogas that have been told to us. One is called as Jnana Yoga, another is called as Bhakti Yoga, and third is called as Karma Yoga. This is what is the entire Bhagavad Gita, as far as to my best understanding, right? I am not a spiritual person, but whatever I know, I am telling you. What is Jnana Yoga? Is a path of knowledge. It is a psychomotor domain. It is a brain, psychomotor domain of Bloom's taxonomy, right? It talks about path to the knowledge, right? Then Bhakti Yoga, what does it mean? Attitude of a person, emotion, affective domain of the Bloom's taxonomy, path of devotion, Bhakti Yoga. And finally, psychomotor domain, Karma Yoga. It is a path of action, what your hands and what your legs do, how do you behave, how do you work, correct? So psychomotor domain, affective domain, and your cognitive domain, all 3 working together, then only entire system works. And this has been told probably in a different manner to us earlier. We need only foreigners to understand Bloom's domain, Bloom's taxonomy. We don't realize that this has been, we were knowing this from so many years. So I will end this because my time is over. Sorry, I have to rush at the end because of the time limit. But then I will show you one small video. It is from the management schools, which I had seen in one of the presentation, and I got it. I will show you that video, and then I'll end the presentation. Yes, here. Just hear that, see that video carefully, and then after going to the video, you look at you can Google out and find out the stories behind that video. Okay. But then in short, what that video tries to convey you is the message that one person can bring a drastic change in the entire system. It is possible. One thinking can change the drastic change in the entire system, right? One introduction of the wolf in a national park in United States can change the entire geography of that local system. That's what I want to tell you through this particular video, which I am sharing now. Okay, so I hope this sharing is possible and you are able to hear also. I mean,
One of the most exciting scientific findings of the past half-century has been the discovery of widespread trophic cascades. A trophic cascade is an ecological process which starts at the top of the food chain and tumbles all the way down to the bottom. And the classic example is what happened in the Yellowstone National Park in the United States when wolves were reintroduced in 1995. Now, we all know that wolves kill various species of animals, but perhaps we're slightly less aware that they give life to many others. Before the wolves turned up, they'd been absent for 70 years. That the numbers of deer, because there was nothing to hunt them, had built up and built up in the Yellowstone Park, and despite efforts by humans to control them, they'd managed to reduce much of the vegetation there to almost nothing. They'd just grazed it away. But as soon as the wolves arrived, even though they were few in number, they started to have the most remarkable effects. First, of course, they killed some of the deer, but that wasn't the major thing. Much more significantly, they radically changed the behavior of the deer. The deer started avoiding certain parts of the park, the places where they could be trapped most easily, particularly the valleys and the gorges. And immediately those places started to regenerate. In some areas, the height of the trees quintupled in just 6 years. Bare valley sides quickly became forests of aspen and willow and cottonwood. And as soon as that happened, the birds started moving in. The number of songbirds and migratory birds started to increase greatly. The number of beavers started to increase because beavers like to eat the trees. And beavers, like wolves, are ecosystem engineers. They create niches for other species. And the dams they built in the rivers provided habitats for otters and muskrats and ducks and fish and reptiles and amphibians. The wolves killed coyotes, and as a result of that, the number of rabbits and mice began to rise, which meant more hawks, more weasels, more foxes, more badgers. Ravens and bald eagles came down to feed on the carrion that the wolves had left. Bears fed in it too, and their population began to rise as well, partly also because there were more berries growing on the regenerating shrubs. And the bears reinforced the impact of the wolves by killing some of the calves of the deer. But here's where it gets really interesting. The wolves changed the behavior of the rivers. They began to meander less. There was less erosion, the channels narrowed, more pools formed, more riffle sections, all of which were great for wildlife habitats. The rivers changed in response to the wolves. And the reason was that the regenerating forests stabilized the banks so that they collapsed less often, so that the rivers became more fixed in their course. Similarly, by driving the deer out of some places and the vegetation recovering on the valley sides, there was less soil erosion because the vegetation stabilized that as well. So the wolves, small in number, transformed not just the ecosystem of the Yellowstone National Park, this huge area of land, but also its physical geography.
So that's it. So done that. You can afterwards you can comprehend what that video was trying to say. But the wolves changed the path of the river, and a very great concept. You can read it afterwards. Sorry, I could not give you time to ask the questions, but now it is up to organizers. Organizers, back to you.
Any questions? Participant? Hello? Hello, participant. I think, sir, already
in chat box you can write no. If they don't have a question, at least in chat box write no.
Okay. Actually, sir, the session was so interesting.
Okay. Thank you. Done.
I think there are no questions.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay. So, on behalf of organizing committee and participant, I thank you, sir, for enlightening session on challenges and solutions of learning outcome attainment in remote learning environment. Sir has taught us what is the meaning of PO12 as a teacher, why it is so important for us, that lifelong learning. As well as sir has given us the benefit and benefit and challenges of online learning, as well as what are the challenges and benefit to student as well. Sir has also told us the new term, that is Bloom's digital taxonomy, why it came into picture as well. Sir has also give us that we should go for educational recommendation system as well. Even sir has given us the highlight as scenario based learning we should follow, storytelling we should follow, and that Bloom taxonomy is not new, but it is existing from Bhagavad Gita 5000 years as well. So thank you, sir. Thank you very much for guiding us.
Yeah, thank you, madam. Shall I leave?
Kasambe sir.
Yes.
Sir, actually, the certificate, the memento that I will have to present. Give a minute.
I got it, sir. Your feelings are conveyed. Thank you.
Just a minute.
Good. Thank you, participants. We had a good interaction. I'm happy that you have interacted with me. And there was a strict warning from Kasambe sir to complete 11:30, so I followed that. Kasambe sir, complete kiya 11:30. Thank you. Good.
Please accept, sir, on behalf of organizing committee, this as a token of love. Thank you so much for your wonderful session. I think Sheetal madam has concluded the session. And sir, next speaker is going to come. He's Dr. Kulkarni, as you know. And
I know Kulkarni sir. I know Kulkarni sir.
Yes.
Sir has not joined?
No, sir has not joined, sir. Sir, if you want the student with the participants for a while, you may, because sir has not joined.
What do I do?
You may, I mean, if you wish, I mean, you are a PEC member also.
No, if you want me to take something, I'll otherwise I'll go. Means if you want me to interact with them or do something, then I'll do. I can talk for till evening also, no problem. But then otherwise, no sir, it's a break time. I have shown a pot. I have shown a beautiful pot, so let them take a tea break for 10-15 minutes. It's okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. I know you are very busy with the other.
No. Yeah, other STDP is going on also. Thank you,
yes,
sir.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Participant, there will be 10 minutes break and we will start at 11:48.